This year's stewardship theme at St. Peter's is for all the saints. St. Peter's is not an institution, nor is it a building. It is a community of saints, the baptized people of God, who are called and empowered by God to be Christ's hands and heart in the world. To celebrate the saints of our community, we are asking parishioners to tell the story of saints in their lives. What we learn is that saints make more saints. Our first witness this year is St. Roberta Schanck, who has been a member of St. Peter's since her baptism in the 1930s. Roberta begins by telling the story of another St. Peter's saint that many of us don't know about, Ferdinand Grach Sanderson. He was the first black member of St. Peter's and was a powerful influence in Roberta's life. Roberta.
We had a godfather by the name of Ferdinand Grach Sanderson.
Oh my, okay.
Black man.
Okay.
And he was a boarder here.
Okay.
He was an Episcopalian. He was a graduate of Yale University.
Right.
And Wesleyan.
Oh my gosh.
And he came here to be the principal of that Court Street school.
Right.
And that was, well, he graduated Yale in around 1915.
Okay.
I think, he had to be the reason we're there.
Okay.
I would not be a nurse today if it were not for him.
Oh my gosh, so he had a real influence in your life, both as a Christian and as a nurse.
He taught me Latin. To be a nurse at those days, you had to have Latin.
Right.
And he tutored me in Latin for 2 years so that I could get into nursing school. He was a brilliant, brilliant man.
Right.
I wish there was more in that church about him.
Oh, we have to learn more about
that. Father Garlick loved him dearly.
Okay.
He was there, then he had a service every day.
Okay.
And he was there every day.
Oh my goodness.
In the morning for that service. He always sat in the very last pew, and he was the last to go up for communion. He would not go until everyone has gone up.
Who are some other influences in your life that helped you learn about God and kind of inspired you to be a Christian?
Mr. Sanderson was really, and my grandmother,
okay.
The only two, because we were not actively involved in, youth fellowship, yes.
Yeah.
And as far as the other churches in Freehold, I don't think they particularly were fond of us.
Oh, really?
Because we didn't worship in our church.
Okay.
The African American churches.
Right.
So St. Peter's is really our heart. That's where we were raised, and even though we were not actively involved in a lot of it, it was there, and it was our church.
As an adult, can you remember anybody in the congregation who particularly inspired you? Or?
Oh, the Vanderveers were very... The Vanderveers were...
Tell me a little bit about the Vanderveers. That you're talking about Ed and Pat Vanderveer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. They were just good people. And Pat and they had kids that were in Sunday school, so they would always almost see that we were included. If there was something, they would include you. I think there was a period, maybe when I'm in my 20s or 30s, that I wasn't as active.
Okay.
And it was, say, 1970. I came very, very near dying. That's when I started to drift back in. I don't want to say drift back in, but come more to the services. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was Father Garlick. He came to see me all the time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you've been a Eucharistic visitor. You would take communion to people who were shut in.
I started to do that when Idelia Craig got me into it. She said, Roberta, we want to start a program where we go out with communion. Do you think you could work on that and set it up? And I said, well, Mother, I tell you, I don't talk to people, and I'm laid back, and I don't know whether I could do that.
Oh, wow.
And I said, did Father Haybear? I said, I don't know whether I'm holy enough to do that. Well, that was the year of 2000 when Mother Idalia asked me to do that, and I did it until 2012.
Right.
And I loved doing that.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
We had a whole team
right
that went out, and it got to the point where we used to go out, each one of us, once a month. And then it got to a point where you had to go twice a month because we had so many people that we were going out to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's another ministry you were a part of, because I think you two were just doing this right up until the pandemic. You and Missy Hazel were volunteering in the thrift shop.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah. So after I retired, I started to do a lot more. So I said, well, I'm going to try the thrift shop. And Missy wanted to do the same thing. So Missy and I, we always worked the same day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The same day. We used to stay in the back most of the time and empty the bags, and there would be bags from ceiling to floor.
Right.
And you just too many. Yeah. Missy was, I'm so tired. So yeah, but we have to keep going, Missy. We have to keep going. And she, right up to the time that she stopped, she said, Roberta, we're going to have to give up the thrift shop. I said, I know. It was just a wonderful thing. People, Audrey Quacken, you didn't know Audrey Quacken?
I've heard the name.
Yeah. Oh, Audrey was something in that thrift shop. She did the register after a while.
Okay.
And I see where Judy Royer took over the register. I thought about that when it would come out, and they were just almost begging for something. I thought, I wonder if I can. I did that for a while. I wonder if I could do that. But I don't think I can stand or sit I would love to have done that.
What would be your hope for the future for St. Peter's?
That it grow.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just St. Peter's is just a wonderful place because everything is accepted. The doors are open to anyone who wants to come there. I have a lot of love for it because of the fact that we were allowed to come there so many years ago and were accepted. I mean, we were not involved in a lot, but you were accepted and you were not treated harshly or ugly because you were there because people didn't want. St. Peter's is my life right now. I don't know what I would do without it.
Wow.
It's always been there for me and my family when we've needed, no matter what we've needed. It's always been there. It's every night in my prayers I said, Heavenly Father, I don't know what I would do without you in St. Peter's. And I don't. I cannot imagine my life without that. Even though I'm not actively involved in it now, I don't get there and I want to, but I don't know what I would do without it. I don't know what life would mean to me without it.
Wow. We thank Roberta for sharing her story. She's a vital part of our community, and she has mentioned many more saints in her life. Susie Sprankle, Warren and Susie Spencer, Phyllis and Paul Ryer, Ginny Edmonds, and many others. When we give of our time, talent, and treasure, we are giving to a community that strives to welcome all people and support each of us in our own journeys to claiming our identity as saints of God.